Welcome back. This is episode 21. Minecraft Let's Play How-To series. It's will be our zero-tick kelp farm episode. So as we got here is a basic layout. You'll see the white lines on the ground. This is chunks. The chunk border is basically under my feet right now. So this is one chunk. That's the other chunk. Chunk border's in the middle. Now, anything that gets stuck on a chunk border when you load and unload a chunk has possibility of disappearing due to just the way that it tends to work. So that's why you want to keep villagers and such away from chunk borders and such like that. So it didn't have a little disappearing act, dogs, cats, stuff like that. I've had sheep disappear, cows. Doesn't happen all the time. Just kind of random. So what we got here is our basic timer circuit. Got our little Y repeater in the middle. We got a torch down there. Got a redstone at the back. Going on this one, I'm gonna run into another repeater. Don't have to. I just seem to have better results doing it like this on this farm. So see our clock got turned on. Just keeps ticking away. So there's that. Now from there, you'd put down your 2 blocks, then you get your sticky pistons, put those on top, facing this way, boom, boom. Go ahead, get this. Now you're going to want this gap to remain empty. Go ahead and do that. I want to put power to the back of our pistons. Come out of our repeater, come up here, and as you can see, they're sticking out. That's what we want. And let's shut off. You'll see why here in a little bit. So far, we got our little timer, we got our pistons, got them extended, our redstone. Now we'll go ahead and put some sand in on top of the pistons. Boom. Boom. Then you want there in front of the pistons, like that. And put blocks around all these, like so. I tend to leave this open in case I need to get in here. Close it in if you want, but gives you a nice view of what's going on inside, just in case there's a problem, which with this farm, it's not the most, I don't know, consistent. It does have a couple issues every now and then, like lag will cause an issue with it. Doing this on a server will be a little bit harder. Single player world seems to be ideal for it. I'm not making mine very big, so that'll help. Alright, so now we got that. Let's test it out. As you can see, it tries to drop the sand, but the pistons are, so boom, boom, boom. That's kind of what you want. Make sure your sand on top isn't going down. As you can see, our sand's staying still up here. This is where we'll plant our kelp once we get everything else built. So that's kind of what you're looking for. Alright, so this part of the farm is working. Now what we're going to do, we're going to raise this. Basically, we're going to be raising our redstone signal up like this. See, this line is lit up. I put the torch down. It unlit this torch. That's what we're looking for there. Up here is going to be where our stuff is growing. Put another layer on the back side, like that. There we go. We'll go ahead and put our other pistons in. Now these other pistons will just be regular pistons, not the sticky variety. And it would help if you put them down in the right spot. No. Alright. Put a block on each side of that. Now for this next part, you probably don't have to use, I just like to see what's going on inside, so glass. Put that there. So got that done. Make that. So as you can see, we got 1, 2, 3 pieces of glass. There. We will have window panes going in close to on this set here, or yeah, this set here. That's what we're looking at so far. Back up in here. Now we're gonna put a block on top of this torch. Torch on top of that. See, it's lit up. But we need an unlit part, so we're gonna go ahead and go another level up. And there's our unlit part. Alright. So on top of these, you'll want more blocks. And on the back of the pistons, blocks just like that. That should pretty much give us what we need. Redstone like this, this, and this. Now these two up here do not power the pistons. They are for what's coming later. Go ahead and raise the glass up another block. Just like so. Go ahead. I think we got another test cycle to run. Our pistons are working. Yep. Everything seems to be working so far. That's good. Then we'll come out front here. A couple blocks. Get us some chests. Place ones just like this. Run hoppers into the back sides of those. You can see it's just kind of a per plant deal. These two hoppers off that plant, these two off that plant. I mean, it probably doesn't have to be that way, but you're going to be producing a lot of kelp, so it's probably best to have a good amount. Well, you're not having to fight it too much. Alright, now up here we're going to put our glass panes in. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. You see they're connected. I did this wrong, didn't I? No big deal. Now, these two are also going to be hoppers. There we go. Easy fix. So your kelp will be growing there. This will be harvested once it gets too tall. Push it over into the hoppers. We're out a ways from the farm away with our chest, so we can do. We'll be putting smokers in here to smoke the kelp. So that's why I'm moving it out of the way a little bit. So as you can see, we got our redstone circuit set up. Got our storage system in. We're just the regular kelp. Harvesting parts in. So what we'll do now, install our covers. These two. Leave this one open for now. Get our water buckets. Put water on these top blocks here, either on that one or on this one. All in there, but it's easy to get out. put our other water bucket in this other block. So as you can see, it's water's all going to be flowing that direction. Oh, I could have swore I had trapdoors on me. Guess I don't. No problem. We'll grab some. See where I stuck my trapdoors at. I've made for this already. I tested it once already. Make sure I'm not missing them. Excuse me. There we go. We got some trapdoors right there. We'll need two. Put those down here. And we got a visitor. Take care of this guy. Yeah, he's in the boat. Alright. Yep, we got another trident. That was worth it. Okay, so we'll go back up here. Yeah, just put your trapdoors in. Let's get up here, and you want to point at this block. What trap? Whoop. Oh, mistake after mistake. What do you know? I'm good at, I guess. Open down like that. See, no problem. You might want a trapdoor you can see through. It's not necessary. If you make this bigger, as long as you fit this inside this chunk, it'll pretty much work. I mean, your kelp will break more often if you make it bigger. You're gonna have a little bit more lag issues. That's why I just tend to go with 2 to 3. I've done 4. 4 is kind of overkill for a single player world. 2 is sufficient. You'll get a lot more better consistency out of its operation. So when we click our little switch here, our trapdoors are flipping up and down. Pistons are activating. Everything's staying intact. Sand's getting moved. That's what we want. So that's what we're looking for there. I tell you, I about forgot everything, didn't I? Alright, let's grab some kelp. As you can see when I was testing, got quite a bit of kelp. Just from just a little bit of testing, there's where my trapdoors are. Oh well. Either way, we're good. So now we're going to put our kelp in. Trapdoor, go ahead and plant kelp there. Plant one there. Should only need one in each spot. I mean, if you want to make them taller, that's fine. But sufficient. So we're going to flip our switch on. As you can see, we're not using bone meal, using the 0 tick method. Instantly producing kelp. You can see it's producing a kelp every time the pistons cycle. This is what a 0 tick farm does. Pretty sure this is the only 0 tick farm that still works on Bedrock that I have found. Don't quote me on that. There may be people who have found a way. You can do it with bone meal, but then you got to find a way to produce massive amounts of bone meal fast, and then you got to feed it into another system. Then you got to have a whole nother redstone circuit for your dispensers. So this way, there's no bone meal. You get tons of kelp. As you can see, it's piling up really fast. So So right now we're just storing the kelp here. Farm's still running. Now the other thing you want to watch out for is when you're running this farm is you do not walk away from it with it running. You can walk short distances as long as you keep it loaded in. I'd recommend not going very far away, because when you unload it and load it back in, you're probably going to end up having your sand all messed up. That's when it's running. As long as when it's running and you unload and load it, your sand's probably going to drop and your kelp probably going to break. What I mean by the sand dropping is that your sand blocks will be down here. You'll have to reset all that. So it's just best to shut it off if you're not going to be in the area. This is a good AFK thing to do. Back when furnaces stored XP and never zeroed it back out, this was a great XP farm. Now you'd have to smelt up quite a bit to be an XP farm, but it's possible. AFK at it, smelt up quite a bit. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this scaffolding. I'll keep this section there. These were just there for me to jump up. I mean, if you wanted to square this off, fine. I wanted to make it look a little better. Some blocks like so. You could. Not really important, but everybody has their own little way of doing things. Pretty simple circuit. Simple design. So now what I'll do is I'll install my smokers. Now we ain't got a lot of room to go down because our base is going to be near here. We could probably get away with it. I'm pretty sure our hallway's kind of like right here. We could probably go down a little bit. But for a simple design, this will work. So you're going to be one. Your smoker's going to be right here and here. Up here and here. I got the hole underneath this so we can collect the items that come out. This can be kind of automatic up to the point it produces dry kelp. And then you'll have to do more after that. Don't need this block there. That was just there so I could place the smoker on the right height. Might be able to fill some of this back in later. You don't have to do this exact design. If you wanted to have these store and then bring it out further, you could. Just kind of make it a little bit more compact. So basically this kelp will be feeding into here. As you can see, it's already started pouring in to the top slot because we put our hoppers into the top hole, which will fill this top spot right here. Now, fuel wise, you're going to want to put hoppers running into the side of each one of these. Now, once you get enough dried kelp, your fuel source will be dried kelp blocks. This thing will run fast enough you can supply it with its own fuel, and it will still make a lot more fuel. So, don't be worried about all that. Now let's do it this way. All right. What we'll do is go ahead and put chests. Chests. All right. No big deal. Got wood. Make chests. We're only gonna need 4. You can add more chests later on, but this is just to get it running. Get stuff going. Be a little bit more manual at first until you get a good supply. And that's not where I wanted that. Alright. You don't want your chest out in front of the smoker. We're going to want our hoppers installed next. We will install a hopper. That chest out of that one. Back of that chest out of that one. So, as you can see, each one of these is feeding into the same chest. What you could do is you could bring out 2 chests lengthwise to kind of increase storage at the back end. But on this one, I am going to wait. I'm going to install the one. Putting these in a little bit harder. Much room. Got that one in. That one there. Crouch. Put that one into the back of that one. Alright. So you're kind of like ground level now. Like I said, you could make these chests come out long ways. So you can have a chest for this smoker alone, and the chest for that smoker, so on and so forth. You could also go further down. You could build this up in the air. Like I said, just keep it within the one chunk. And do not leave it running while you are away. Otherwise, you're probably going to fix it. So I got some fuel on me, so I'll go ahead and separate these into 4s. Go ahead and stick some fuel in. As you can see, it's already fired up and started smelting or smoking. Now you can put chests on top of these. Once you get a bunch of fuel build up, like a bunch of kelp blocks, we click our farm on. We have a good supply of kelp coming in at the top. The other thing you're going to want are some switches. You'll crouch, put the switch on the front of each one of these. Need to make a couple more. Grab that, and we'll make a couple more. Levers, switches, levers. Terminology. Put levers on top front of these. Crouch when you're doing it. So right now it's letting the stuff go into the chest, as you can see. If you're trying to collect experience after you've run like a big long run, you want to shut them off so the stuff that smelts or smokes stays inside here, and that's how you get your experience. Take it out of the smoker itself, and then you open them back up and let them build up more experience, so on and so forth. So you can see it keeps it pretty much full. We're going to have quite a bit up here once the hoppers get all filled up. These hoppers just provide a little bit more storage. As you can see, it's popping off quite a bit of kelp. Hey Mickey, dried kelp. It's very useful. As you can see, we got quite a bit smoked already. We got 40 some pieces here. Can be used as food. It's not a very good food source, but if you're in a pinch, dried kelp can be food. If you want to go a much cheaper way to where you don't have to use much fuel, maybe you don't have any, you can dry the regular kelp on a campfire, then try to get some blocks built up to where you could start using the blocks as fuel to feed the system back. So what you'll want, and I don't have one, I'll make one. By your chest down here, crafting table. So you'll open it up, and as you can see, I can make 4 kelp blocks. Let's go ahead and stick one in each of these. Kelp block will do 20 items. I'm not sure if it'll do more one item or other, but 20 is a pretty good estimate. See, our stuff's filling up. We're getting kelp out of here. So it takes 9 kelp. Let's make a block. Block smelt 20 items. This is all free stuff right now. I mean, I used a little bit of fuel to get things running, but once it becomes self-sufficient, you'll be using your free kelp to smoke your free kelp, and you will make blocks upon block upon block. There's a little bit of a manual operation to it, but once you do a couple big runs, you'll have all the fuel you need. So there won't be any reason to be worried about bringing coal back, or maybe a little for torches. You can make charcoal out of wood for torches. That's what I tend to do. So if you need something to drop when you're out mining, because your inventory's full, you'll be able to drop things like coal or stuff like that, fuel sources, in order to carry maybe something more of value that you cannot produce. Coal, you could drop it. What I would do is I wouldn't drop it as an item. I would go ahead and place the coal blocks down like this, you know, kind of bunch them up in an area, make a stack out of them if you have time. That way, if you ever come back to that area, and just mine them up that time. Once you get a lot of shulker boxes, you'll have a little bit easier time, but even then, you'll run out of room eventually. You always do. Seems inevitable. There it is. That is a zero-tick kelp farm using no bone meal. It'll produce infinite amounts of fuel. You'll need a little bit of fuel to get it running at the beginning. But like I said, you can take kelp out of here and dry it on a campfire over here. Campfires do not require fuel to operate, so you can cook your food and dry your kelp on a campfire for free. Just gotta be able to make a campfire. Then you'll just go ahead and take what you dry, make it into blocks. In here, make 11 blocks already. Put 2 in each one of these again. So there's 3 blocks in there. That's 60 items that can smelt. I still got 3 left. I haven't even done this side yet. But you'll probably want a crafting bench, either accessible by both sides or put a crafting bench on each side. Don't be worried about making too many crafting benches, because you'll probably use them. I got 15 kelp blocks. So I can put 3 more in. As you can see, I'm kind of putting more in these. I know I could have put 4 in each one. Yeah, there we go. So now we got 7 blocks in each one. Like I said, it makes it quick. It's a pretty fast process. Just stand here, let it run. Keep checking your plants, because every now and then, your plants up there on the bottom being harvested, these will break. But in order to fix that, you just got to have some kelp in your inventory, like I do. Come up here, you can do this while it's running. Find the one that's broke. Kind of hard to see with those arms constantly popping out, but you just got to highlight that sand and pop one in there. You can stop the farm to do it, or you can do it while it's running. Running, it might be a little tricky, but it's doable. Like I said, you can put chests. Once you get a bunch of blocks built up, you can start putting chests on top of these hoppers, just a single chest, or make it a double that sticks out. If you want your experience, you just shut it down. Take that, you can see the experience came in. Wasn't much, but you might be able to get small repairs done on tools, depending on how long you run it. Go get more. See what my pickaxe does here. I got it in my hand. It didn't amount to much because I haven't ran it much. So now back when there was the furnace glitch, whatever went through the furnace constantly stacked. Even after you collected it, it was still there. So you could get 30 levels in no time. You could get 60 levels in no time. It was just everything that ran through the furnace, it kept. Even after you collected your XP, it still had XP in it. So you basically just kept shutting it down, and you'd run it for a while. You'd shut your switches to where it couldn't discharge it. You sit there and just collect, and you'd get tons of experience. But they've fixed that now. So this is more just a fuel farm. Later on, you're going to be needing more glass, so you'll want to be turning sand into glass. Put sand in the furnace and smelt it into glass. So if you need to do a lot of smelting, it's good to have a little bit of fuel built up. You don't do a lot of smelting of the ores. Some of them. Copper, maybe. Not exactly a copper fan, so. As you can see, it pushes the kelp out, and since there's running water on this side, it kind of just forces it into that half glass over here into this hopper, and on the hopper in front of that. If you do not put those hoppers next to that sand that the kelp is growing on, you're going to have a bunch of kelp sitting there, just trapped, sitting there. Probably end up causing lag. Let too much build up there. Anyway, this is zero kelp farm, infinite fuel, no bone meal required. It's pretty much just free. Just got to stand here and let it run. As you can see, it builds up very quickly. Smokers probably won't be able to keep up. Now, if you wanted to build a big old smoker array down below, but that's just going to require you dedicating more of your kelp blocks back into your system to run more smokers. Single player world, this will pretty much take care of most of all your fuel needs for your furnace, your blast furnace, and your smoker. So no real big need to make a big one. Like I said, on a server, you're going to have more lags, you're going to have more issues. So if you build a big farm, you're probably going to have less luck. As you can see, it's got 2 cells running, and I'm already just pumping out the kelp. And I haven't had anything break yet because I kept it small, minimize the lag. So as you can see, it's kind of a visual glitch, but that sand looks like it's almost touching the ground. When it pulls back, that sand gravity drops, and it pushes it back forward, and then the game kind of registers it as moving back and forth. But this is what causes the plant to grow, is this sand getting pulled back and forth. It's creating your instantaneous update on your plant, which causes it to grow. And I do believe, you don't think you need the trapdoors, but you do. You need them doing this to update the water source. There was different designs out years ago. Oh, excuse me. That didn't have the little trapdoor design up here that, constantly flipped them. And it worked. But they've changed something since then, because if you had to run this without the trapdoors, you just have a bunch of pistons moving. Nothing would grow. It would force out the kelp. Not sure how they managed to do that, but this seems to be the workaround. This is about the only way I've been able to build it. I haven't been able to do much tweaking to it on this side of things. You gotta have your trapdoors, you gotta have your water source above. Doing this. Got our simple circuit back here. I mean, it's mostly just going to require you to find your chunk. I've been doing 191. There's 192. So these two are the few chunks. As you can see, I kind of mark that way and that way. But this is a chunk, so that's the corner of that one. And a quarter of that one. It's just 16 blocks long. Go ahead and go 16 this way too. So yeah, like I said, you have room to make this bigger, but it's going to be a lot less consistent, and you're going to have to go in there and manually fix it a lot more. It's just been my best, most consistent design. It's performed the best, and it gets me what I need. So as you can see, we're getting quite a bit. We haven't even started using our kelp blocks yet. We're still running off that little bit of charcoal I put in there. I put 32 charcoal in each one. Made charcoal out of wood. We got a visitor. But yeah, that's your zero tick farm. That's your smoker set up on front of it. It's fed, kelp. Makes great fuel. Just make it into kelp blocks. And infinite fuel. No need for bone meal. That's the best part. Mine bone meal farms, but if you just another resource you've got to go and get farm for. With this design, it's pretty much a self-sufficient deal. You'll end up with plenty of blocks down here, don't worry. So I hope this farm is useful for you. Like I said, it's not the first version that's ever been put out. I cannot remember where I found the first design. I mean, this is not my design. For the fixes, I will put the link in the description if I do find out, if I figure out which video it was. I watched a lot of videos on farms, so it's kind of hard to keep them all straight. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody about that. Like I said, not my design. I wish I really knew who showed me the fix after the update, because that's been helpful. Because having that fuel, that furnace, when you're doing a lot of smelting, especially when you set up an auto smelter, is very big. So hope everybody has a great day. I'm going to call it an episode, and I'll see you next time. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Either or.